Yeah, I think when it boils down to it, it's like sustainability is one thing, but your pocket sustainability is another thing. And doing it this way, you're not having to buy so many things and go through the rinse and repeat. When you harvest, every next harvest is going to be better because your soil is getting better and you're doing more and more to create that ecosystem. With your soil, where you live, it'd probably be different than somewhere where like Chris lives. He's not going to plant it right into the ground. Composting, I feel like step one in that sense. But then soil. So do you need to buy a big name brand, or are you just getting local? I mean, you obviously traveled to get some there, but are you just grabbing anything from a local farm? Because I saw some random brands in Chris's garage. I was like, who the is this? And he's like, oh, this company. I was like, I've never even heard of them, but it's probably locally obtainable. So it's easier to get.
I don't really buy bagged soil at all. I haven't for years, unless it's just like I'm in a pinch and I need to like transplant seedlings. I try to source all of my soil from local soil yards where they're mixing it there and not going through the whole. Because I don't grow a few plants. I grow a lot of weed. Like I don't need a couple bags. So I need like truckloads. And for that, like going to the source. So I've got like a worm farm locally that I go to, and they sell worm castings by the yard, but they'll mix it for you, custom blend whatever you want. You want cocoa coir instead of peat moss, you want rice hulls instead of perlite. Like they mix it all in. If you want to add amendments, you want to add the glacial rock dust, you want to add, they have all the down to earth, they'll do it for you. And so I'll just pick up some of that and build and have that just like incorporated into my native soil.
So my next question is because Rob kind of touched on it, but we kind of focused on soil, and then you mentioned worm castings. Because I'm thinking cost effectiveness. We kind of because that's number one for me is you have to save money. You have to save money. Unfortunately it's one of the most precious resources aside from time and love. But the thing is like can you really save money in your way? Or is it almost, can it be a big of a rabbit hole in regards to spending money on amendments and soils, worm castings? And because for me to get like a year's worth of nutrients with Stash Blend, I'm looking like $300, give or take. Now granted, your scale of plants are much smaller than mine. So it would have to be relative. I'm only growing, at mass, maybe, I'm flowering like 6 plants at a
Opposite
time.
again.
Yeah,
Her scale's much larger. Your
that's what I
scale's
said. Her scale's
smaller.
much larger. I did. It's not what I said.
The opposite.
Oh,
She's got a couple plants.
she's got a couple.
You
I
got
do
these
way more.
your basement plants. Shit on any
I'm
big ass
queen of the
outdoor
homegrown.
plants.
Leave me alone. So yeah, you're growing way more than I am. So it's like you're going to be spending more naturally, but I think relatively, are you really
Let's
saving
break
money?
this down. How much can you grow a pound of?
Well, with a pound, it would have to be very specific. I'd have to break that down.
Like an average number.
Uh, it would be cheap, like up in less than $50.
Okay, yeah, I can do
Well,
it for
less than,
$40. $40
yeah.
is about what it cost me to grow a pound a week. So, like sustainability, there's three pillars of sustainability in my mind. That's what I went to school for: environmental science, natural science. So, like economics is a pillar of sustainability. How it affects your wallet is a huge portion. I'm always trying to do things as affordably as possible. Not only am I growing like because I smoke a lot, I'm trying to save money that way, but like I grow my family's food, I have chickens, I'm doing all these things because I know not only is it healthier for the planet, it's healthier for me. It's not full of poison, but it's also more affordable. And being able to implement all of these different systems in my garden is making it more cost effective. So, like, I think I spent maybe $1,000 on my garden last year. And that was like building a brand new garden from nothing. Wood to build raised beds, trellising that's I'm going to keep using. So maybe there was like 500 of that went into, um, you know, actual amendments that I still have some too that I'll use for this year. And I grew maybe like 12 pounds of flour and got I don't know, 10 ounces of rosin. So pretty good return.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's the argument, is that you can really throw it back at me and say, well, what are you doing for the planet? What are you doing for you? And not only that, can you answer the question in terms of what's inside of A, B, or C? Because, I would have to rely on a bottled nutrient where I don't know where it's sourced. In reality, I don't even know what's in it. It's something in water. So yeah, that peace of mind is worth a lot. And in reality, if I can get it down to less than $50 and you can get it down for less than $50, we're on par for the same wallet. At the end of the day, it's more about efficiency and effectiveness.
It also comes down to, really the environment, right? What processes went into creating these synthetic bottled nutrients versus what processes went into getting these all natural ingredients, right? And I think that's where a lot of, talking about sustainable and organic and all natural, I think that's where it wins, is being more environmentally friendly.
I actually have an idea or an idea about this. And because I'm always arguing with myself about like sustainability and how I can improve, right? Kaizen, continuous improvement, removing waste, becoming more efficient. And so for like the sustainability aspect, I question with like phosphorus particularly. I've been battling this and arguing for like 4 years on organic phosphorus sources. And like some of the organic ingredients that we use, are they really more sustainable than some of the synthetic things because of the way that they're harvested? Like bat guano, bird guano. I don't use any guanos in my garden because for me, what's most important is the environment. And so regardless of it being an organic phosphorus source, that's really great. Your plants love it. The way that they go in and destroy cave ecosystems, destroy islands where endangered birds are nesting to harvest this, it's like, to me, it's not worth it. And so like, that's where that, like, I wonder, like, I don't know a lot about the synthetic production of phosphorus. I mean, I know that like synthetic nitrogen was discovered, like the Haber-Bosch method during World War II for explosives. So nitrogen is actually like part of the industrial war complex. The nitrogen fertilizer we use is also like a bomb. But like phosphorus, I'm not super aware of how synthetic phosphorus is produced, but I do know that organic phosphorus, like a lot of that is not sustainable and I won't use it. So like for me, rock phosphate, which is mined. So you have a whole nother slew of environmental issues with mining. And then bone meal and like blood meal, because that's a byproduct. So whenever I'm looking for amendments, I usually try to purchase things that are byproducts of industries that are already, this would be a waste item, like cocoa coir. That would be a waste item. So peat moss is harvested in pristine, bogs that took thousands of years to produce this peat moss. So would I rather use cocoa coir or peat moss? I'm going to go cocoa coir. Would I rather use bat guano or bone meal? I'd rather use bone meal. So it's like going back again to what is most important to you as the individual gardener. It's your life, it's your moral compass, it's your decision in your garden. And so for me, yeah, I'm like an eco warrior. I'm trying to do the best for the planet. But I am interested in synthetic phosphorus just because I'm like, well, what is the ecological impact of that?
This FTS clip was brought to you by AC Infinity, leaders in garden innovation. Use discount code TheStash15 at checkout to save some money on your order.
From the Stash Podcast.